Get ready to level up your game design skills because mastering 2D assets is the first step. Doesn't matter you want to create a game asset or an art to post on your Instagram to get likes. But first, you have to choose between these two, Photoshop or Illustrator. You can use Photoshop for pixel art assets or for editing purposes, cause that is why this software was made in the first place. Illustrator can be used for various art styles, for example, simplistic vector-based art styles or for flat illustrations. So you can create 2D game assets. But typical, aren't these software paid, you might say? A great question indeed. But it has an easy answer. If you have Windows, you can download and install Photoshop from any third-party website. You can do anything, and I am not trying to tell you to go to any shady website, but let's say you manage to get your hands on Photoshop or Illustrator, and now another problem occurs. Now the app is telling you that this app doesn't have any license, so you need to purchase it. But a wise man once said,
modern problems require modern solutions.
So you can just block the private and public internet connection for the app in Windows Defender Firewall. I am saying it again that I am not trying to tell you guys to pirate any Adobe app and block its internet connection to use it for free. I highly recommend you guys to buy the Adobe subscription even if it costs money. But typical, you didn't tell us how to pirate Adobe apps for Mac users, and for this question I have a very solid answer. I don't know. So now you know how to pirate apps and use it for free only on Windows and for educational purposes only. I think it is the correct time to like this video, and now let's come to the part where I actually teach you how to make these assets. During this video production, I was actually making guns on Illustrator. There was an assignment in which I have to make only 100 drawings or illustrations of a particular object in a week, or to be more precise, 14.285 drawings in a day. Let's first talk about Illustrator. When you first open these apps, you absolutely doesn't need to know everything, and you only need to know the basics and the tools that you will use 80% of the time. And the tools are pen tool.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
If you learn and master this tool, you can now create or trace anything. The following tools are just to save time, as these are the basic shapes that can be made using pen tool, but these are a lot faster. For example, rectangle tool makes a rectangle, and when you hold shift it makes a square. Ellipse tool makes an ellipse, and when you hold shift it makes a circle. Type tool types. These tools are enough to create any 2D thing that humankind has ever seen. Master the use of pen tool. Now you've mastered 50% of Illustrator. But there are 3 more things that you need to learn as quickly as possible. And the first one is normal selection, that has the shortcut key of V on your keyboard that can move, rotate or scale any object. Then there's direct selection that has the shortcut key of A on your keyboard, can be used to edit the position of one or more points at the same time. And the third and the most important thing is to get to know about layers and how these works, because this knowledge will help you in Photoshop a lot. Before going to the Photoshop, I want to tell you guys a feature of Photoshop that you guys might or might not heard of, which is that you can also do minimal 3D in Photoshop. But typical, Photoshop is focused on 2D and there are more softwares that can do 3D in a better way. So why bother trying to do 3D in Photoshop? And if you are the one who thinks like that, then you are completely right. But in this video, you'll learn how to create 2D art or game asset and how to edit them using Photoshop. But luckily, I've made a video explaining that how you can turn your 2D images and references into 3D game assets. The link of the video will be down in the description, but watch this video first because you still need to know how to edit those images using Photoshop. Photoshop offers a variety of tools, but the first thing that you need to take care of when clicking on new file is to determine the width and height of your artboard. Mine is set to 32 by 32 pixels, that is very low. and in this size you can only create a maximum of 4 16 by 16 pixel assets. You can turn on the grid if necessary. Here the main tool is brush tool or pencil tool that has a shortcut of B in your keyboard, a rectangular marquee tool for selection, move tool, eraser, paint bucket and type tool. All these tools aside, the magic of Photoshop comes with the control over layers, adjustments, selection and other things to edit images. But in both Illustrator and Photoshop, you can drag an image on a layer and lower its opacity, then create another layer on the top of it to draw. By doing this, the proportions and art style doesn't need to compromise if you are good at using pen tool in Illustrator or brush tool in Photoshop. I will still try my best that the next video that comes out will be my devlog part 2, but I'm not sure because I don't trust my college assignments. I'm also making a video explaining every single game genre, and to see that you can subscribe and press the bell notification so you don't miss that video when it comes out. Thanks to everyone that supported my video. I will see you guys in the next one.